Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and let me introduce you to the HMX Lunar Stone. My intro video that I originally recorded did not actually save properly, so this isn't going to be my new intro for this video. My apologies to everyone, and maybe this is a better way to do it, so let me know down below in the comments if this is what you guys prefer. Now, thank you again Unikeys, because they sent me out 3 different switches. The other day was the HMX Cosmic Purple, and then Gathering Sage, and this is the HMX Lunar Stone. It's really exciting to try so many switches from them, and of course I'm going to try out their newest tactile switch very soon. I think HMX does really incredible switches, and of course I'm going to give you guys a reference sound, which is the blue cheese, my favorite switch, and then give you guys a different switch sound for all the different keyboards. So please make sure to like and subscribe, and let's hear it. So we've done all the sound tests, and I gotta admit, the Switch sounds really nice in terms of the clackiness, right? I think HMX does a really great job in terms of the clacky sound. Now, in terms of where I would place this one compared to, like, say, the last one we did, which was the purple, I think the Lunar Stone's a little bit better for me personally. I personally enjoy it a little bit more in terms of the smoothness of the Switch as well. I think the Switch itself is incredibly smooth without hand lubing. Once you do hand lube it though, I still got like that weird feeling where some of the switches felt a little bit too tight in a way. Like it just felt a little bit more finger fatigue. Like it felt heavier to type on. Not lubing it actually is much better. It's really light. I'd say this feels a lot lighter than the purples did in terms of just typing feel wise. It is quite interesting to see like how HMX is constantly making new switches. It's really impressive. Honestly, I think most of the HMX switches have a very similar sound profile. Like similar, not the same, right? It just changes a little bit, and then in terms of the actual lightness of the springs and in terms of the feeling of the switch. So that's personally my thoughts. I think this feels a lot lighter to type on. I do really like the sound profile on it. I think I personally might be using this one in one of my boards. We'll have to see which board. I think though the Lumen Key 98, I think this is the one I'm going to be using, and it feels much nicer in that one and sounds really good in it. But of course, let's go straight into the stem level test, backlighting, and a little bit more thoughts on it. And then hopefully that will help you guys choose and see which ones you want to grab yourself. So right now we're going to open the switch and let me show you guys what the stock lubing looks like for this HMX Lunar Stone. Now, the reason why I want to show you guys the stock lubing is just to give you guys an idea, how does it come stock? And one of my thoughts are, because I did mention it in the mid thoughts where I think the lubing needs to be done very carefully, or like lubing it really made it horrible. As you can see here, the stock lubing is actually pretty decent. It's very, very light, but it is enough for this switch. What happens with this one is if you do lube it or lube over because it's a light lube, just to see if you can make it a little bit smoother, you're going to have to really do it very, very, very lightly, because if you do a little bit too much, so the way you can think about it is, for compared to say other switches that you normally would do, if you do lube it like that, it will actually make it really, really rigid, and it will actually not move smoothly. So keep in mind that for this HMX switch and most HMX switches in general, it has to be very, very lightly lubed. Now the spring, as you can see here, is a 21 millimeter spring, and that's the length that you're going to be getting for this one. It's, I think, the same as well for the Cosmic Purple. It is nice. I personally prefer a long spring as well as a single stage, and it is a really nice switch in terms of how it feels. Honestly, the stock switch comes really great. I really enjoyed the feeling of the stock switch, and I gotta give HMX a lot of props on this, where they did an amazing job. Now, of course, you guys had the information before in the intro, but let me give you the information again on screen for you guys to see on this HMX switch. Honestly, the price-wise, I think it's really affordable, and the switch is quite nice. In terms of the stem wobble performance, as you can see here on the top end, you will get a little bit of wobbling, and when you actually press it down, you do get a little bit more. Just had to get a focus there, but you do get a little bit more on the vertical side than the horizontal side. I can show you guys a little bit more with the keycaps as well, but this switch is really well done. Really, it's not a ton of stem wobbling, but you can definitely see it vertically has a lot more than, say, when it is pushed horizontally. And in terms of what does that mean? It just means like if you are someone who holds down the key quite a bit, or if you're a gamer, you will feel it a little bit. It's not bad though. It's not like heavily stem wobbled. Like as you can see here, when I press on a key, you will have more vertical movement than horizontal movement that I noticed on this one. But if you are a gamer, you will feel it. And if you're sensitive to that, do not like that at all, these switches probably won't work for you. But I would say in terms of a typing person, like just a pure typer, fast typer, you shouldn't have any issues with it at all, because if you're a fast typer, none of these stem wobblings really will affect you. Now, let's go into the backlighting of this board. So, or sorry, not the board, but the switch. The switch doesn't have a light diffuser in it. I would love to see HMX have something that does have that. It would be nice to see. One thing I did notice right away is that if you can see on my keyboard here, the number row is actually a different switch completely. And that's the blue cheese, the version 1 that was up there. And as you can see here, like the brightness difference is quite big. The HMX switches, due to the color of the switch, is actually quite a bit dimmer. It's not heavily dimmer, but it is still dimmer, and you can really tell the difference between the two. I noticed that for the lunar stones, as like you bring down the brightness even more and you bring it back up, you can see like at the, because these are south-facing, so as you can see like at the bottom of the Z, XC, ASD, QWE, and then comparing it to the 123, you will notice that the 123 is a lot brighter than the rest. And that's because the HMX switches definitely have a bit of a dimmer lighting to it. Luckily, you don't really have any color change on this one. So compared to the Cosmic Purple, which is actually affecting the lighting, these ones, the Lunar Stones, do not affect the lighting as much, or like pretty much at all, which is great because this is a bluish, lighter blue coloring that's on this keyboard, and I don't really have that color disfiguration that's coming from the switches, and which is really good to see because you really do want to have more accuracy in terms of the coloring, because you don't want to have to constantly play with your colors in RGB to make sure that it is what you want it to be. And these switches do that well, but just keep in mind for those that really do like very bright lights that this switch is not really going to do that well. So keep that in mind for yourselves as you look for your next HMX switch, and hopefully they do come out with something that does really work well for backlighting. Overall though, I think HMX switches sound quite similar to each other. I personally prefer this one over the purple though. I think this one felt just a little bit better in terms of the typing feel. Like it felt lighter for me. The purples felt a little bit heavier, even though they're supposed to be the same spring weight. These purples were incredibly smooth though. I would say it felt a little bit more smooth than these ones. But go check it out for yourselves. Unikey's has so many different switches on the website. I'll have the links in the description for you guys. You should go check out their site and really grab the switch you want, because most likely they have it. So all in all, I really hope that this video helped you guys choose which switches you would like to choose. And of course, I'll keep doing more and more sound tests. Please let me know down in the comments if there's ways I can improve my sound tests and testing of the switches. I really want to provide you guys the most accurate way to do so, especially so that you can make a good choice without having to spend your own money buying just a bunch of switches. So hopefully this video really helped. I will have the links in the description for you guys for Unikey's website. They have so many switches out there, and I really appreciate their site a lot. Like I used it a lot before, and I'm really appreciative that they're actually collaborating with me now. So go check it out. And of course, go check out the other videos I got, and I'll catch you guys next time.